Hi, welcome back. Certainly glad you could join us today.
One, two, three, four. Four more. Back to Summerford Farms. Hey, Stelwern, we found a knife. Paintings. Right glad I am to see you safely returned. My lads were all gabbing and hearing what sounded like seven hells breaking loose near the grotto, and I feared I'd sent you to your death. If you were in the middle of that commotion, I hope it yielded something of interest. I'd hate to think you risked your life for naught. Here is a blunt sailor's knife. A blade pulled from the back of a creature you slew at the cave, eh? I'd agree such a knife would be part of any seafaring man's kit. I'm starting to think these ruffians are pirates come to lure my farmhands back to a life of plunder. Chances are they didn't take kindly to your appearance on their doorstep instead of matting doo-boo on you. Aye, the pirates have been adding to their numbers of late. I'd best warn the lads and lasses in my employ to be on guard against their schemes. You met someone else in the grotto? A woman with a strange contraption. Ah, Yishtola. She's been in Limsa for a good while now. Her studies on the ether often bring her out to Summerford, so her presence at the grotto is hardly unusual. She's an odd-looking lass, I'll grant you, but she's not the kind to associate with kidnappers. You may take my word for that. Where trust should be lacking is in those yeomen of mine who have yet to wholly relinquish their pirate past. The temptation to return to the free and easy life of a buccaneer may prove too strong to resist. You have my thanks, Paintings. If it weren't for the efforts of stalwart adventurers like yourself, this farm would be in far worse state than it is. Just you keep on lending your talents to those in need, eh? Help bring Limsa the brighter future she deserves. Quest complete. Level up, overpower, defiance, beast gauge unlocked. Okay, we've got defiance now, which is our tanking stance. As long as that little gem's lit up, that means defiance is on. And what defiance does is increases enmity, which is Final Fantasy's word for aggro, if you've played any other MMOs. So as long as we have that on, every attack we take, every action we execute will increase enmity against the enemies so that they keep their attention on us, the tank, while the DPS and healers do their job. Stelwern. That sea sloth Severin and his lot, never around when there's work to be done. I'd sooner hire you for the sake of getting things done, but then the rapscallions would never learn. Round them up and let them know that Stelwern would like a word, and don't take no for an answer. Yo, yeoman. Work? Ha! Can't work with me hands full lifting this mug. You know I'd wager me last gill you never guessed what I'm drinking. Swill water or swill wine? Swill wine, you're a partier. Well, you're right about the swill part. I reckon it might be worth a day of doing Stelwyn's chores if it'll afford me a taste of proper grog. Here he is. Groan. How am I supposed to work on an empty stomach? Go on, have a guess at what I had for breakfast. Breaded sticks or ash tuna? Ew. Let's go with ash tuna. What? Gods, how'd you know? It's my breath, ain't it? It probably smells as wooden as the food tasted. But I know why you're here. I'd just as soon come get some real food in me, but I ain't one to reject a summons from the captain. Alright, 2 yeomen down, 3 to yo. Erimus. Axes were made for splitting skulls, not stumps. You know what I did in my sailing days? Skirmishing or wanton slaughter? Wanton slaughter. You bet your beard I did, lad. Aye, those were the days. Huh. I reckon now I'll have to be satisfied taking my axe to the trees. How sweet he misses his days on the high seas. Just murdering. Oh, you're on the other side of the bridge. Aylmer. So, still Warren sent you. And what do you reckon I say to that? Work is for the weak and witless. I've saucier seeds to sow. Ooh. Let's go saucy. Damn right. Didn't get where I am by taking guff from any glorified gardeners, but I suppose I could see what he wants to get him off my back. Saucier seeds to sow. Throwing out my last yo to the yeoman. I am Severin. You the old man's errand boy now? Tell my dear old captain not to wet his britches. I'll be along. Oh, it's this guy again. Oh, and just so we're clear, I don't care for landlubbers. Go find the chocobo you rode in on and ride on out. Alright. It's got a bit of a attitude, but we can fix that with positive reinforcement and ale. Anyway. Still wearing, I yelled at the yeoman. You continue to impress, lad. All but Severin are accounted for. It's no fault of yours, he squirmed out. I've let that worm wriggle through my fingers more times than I can count. But rest assured, the next time I see him, I'll put him squarely in the dirt where all such worms belong. Pains me to say, but all the gil in the world can't buy loyalty. There are some like you who can be trusted, but then there are others. Until now, I've had no choice but to rely on that charlatan Severin, even though I am full aware he's been doing shady deals behind my back. More than once I've heard tell of an improper trading with goblins. I wouldn't be the least surprised if it were happening right now. Not a bell ago, a sack of orange vanished, as did Severin. I want you to find and confront the bastards for me, Paintans. I'm sure there's wrongdoing afoot, so be sure to doubt anything that comes out of his mouth. Usually, I only want to emphasize the good in people. But if this guy's stealing oranges, it's time to doubt him. Well, well, well. Severin and a sack of sacks. Probably full of oranges. Hey Bob, what do you call people who steal oranges?
Happy accidents.
Alright, Severin, time's up. Bloody hells, I'm up the straight without a paddle. Doubt. Doubt. What's this now? Stelwarn sent you for the oranges? Huh. So the little bugger had known all this time. What does it matter anyway? Listen, you're one of those goody-goody adventurer types, right? Go rescue me mates from those double-dealing goblins. They're just over yonder by the bonfire. Time to rescue bad people from bad people. Is that all of them? Alright. Aylmer. I remember you. I owe you one. Would have gotten away myself if not for Severin shoving me aside. Sozai Rarzai. You were one of the yeomen I said hello to. If you hadn't come, my dodo would have been cooked. Cooked dodo. I Rimhus. You're the one who wanted to murder everyone. Severin sent you? Ha! The way he flew out of here, I was sure he'd sold us down the river. Suppose I should be ashamed I couldn't clean up my own mess. But a pirate knows no shame. I've no qualms about going back on my word. I'm only giving you this sack because I like the cut of your jib. Take it to Asine and send him my regards. Alright, sack of oranges. Let me just heft these up on my shoulders by kneeling and playing with them. So here's the thing about playing Japanese games. That name right there could be Asine. O-S-S-I-N-E, Asine. Or it could be Osine. and I just don't know which one it is, and it drives me crazy. Sign, I have your oranges. What have we here? A delivery from Summerford Farms, and it's scheduled? There's a first time for everything. Here are your oranges. Well, look at that. Not a single one missing either. About the only things not here are those bagmen, and I don't miss them one bit. Here's Stelwern's payment in full. With you, I can trust it'll reach him. Stelwern, we sold oranges and come back with money. Back in one piece. That's relief. How did you fare, Paintings? Here's a sack of gill. This is what I was aiming for. Looked to be all I was owed, all right. Though I'd be telling you false if I claimed I had not held out more hope for Severin. I was even willing to overlook the skimming off the top, but to sell us all short in favor of those god's-forsaken goblins. You'd do well to mind yourself around that 2-guild cheat. If he'd leave his own mates for dead, there's no telling what he'd do to you. Well, that armor didn't last long. Now we look like a big stuffed toy. Gurkhant, what do you have for me? Blast! At this rate, the crops will never be ready for harvest. If only we had black loam. Just a bit could send our stocks soaring. I'll bet Rodwida knows where you might find some. Perhaps you might pay her a visit in the orchard. Absolutely. Rodwida? That Gurkhant's got a head of cabbage if he thinks I'm fetching him any black loam. But if you dare to pinch some from the cook pot, then be my guest. Just mind you don't get trampled upon the aurochs that dwell there. Once you've 3 bushels worth, take the black loam too. Jesus. Frillwall? At Tiller's Rest. He'll know what to do. Alright, let's go get some black loam. Ooh, hunting log targets.
I got nightmares in my head, I fear that the thoughts build up until...
All done. Nope, not all done. Now all done. Alright, let's find that black one. Oh, look at this. They're hunting log targets.
I can't hear that my mind fills up into a creature, and it haunts me somewhere much deeper. Anxiety filling up every space, no privacy, and silently.
Alright, now on to the black loam. And last one. Alright, back to Tiller's Rest. You know, I bet that guy's name is Frual. I bet you don't even pronounce the P at the start. Frual. Got your black loam. Arr, even the weeds wither and die in this desolate dirt. Here is black loam. But a bit of this black loam ought to change all that. I haven't seen any in ages. Gathering black loam's not for the weak of will, nor the weak of stomach, eh? Oh. Don't tell me Gurkhant and Rotweeda neglected to mention where black loam comes from. Well, surely you figured it out on your own from the cloying stench. It comes from the aurochs' lair, of all places. Does he mean poop? Well, why dwell on who misled whom, and about what? What matters is that your efforts have brought us the black loam, and we can expect a bountiful harvest as a result. Thank you. For Wall, what do you got? Confounded pirates. They know nothing of tillin', only killin'. Stealing our shovels to melt and forge into axes of all things. They're biting the hand that feeds them, the mangy mongrels. I'd love to teach those curs a lesson in obedience myself, if I hadn't sworn to Stelwern that I wouldn't fight no more. So I need you to bring back our farm tools, and make sure those dogs reap what they've sown. Let's go get back some farm tools.
It could build and build until you finally see, whoa, it's taking over, damn no closure, moving closer, no exposure.
Level up!
I just wanna be a loner, some can't stay sober.
Back to Frewall. I wonder what those sea dogs will try and steal when there's no harvest. Here are your stolen farm tools. Good to see these tools back, and in serviceable condition, which will be more than we can say at Severin when we get our hands on him. The wretch likely had a role in the theft. Spied him meeting with pirates in secret, I did. I couldn't care less if the wastrel won't work, but when he consorts with the cut purses that take our tools away, he's crossed the line. Stelwaren ought to know what sort of scallywag he's dealing with. Take word to him, would you? Stelwaren, Severin's a scallywag. Pirates making off with our tools? Frewall did well not to take matters into his own hands. Last thing I need is blood on my crops. But I'll be damned if Severin thinks he can take us for fools. His treachery won't go unpunished. I've come to expect a great deal from you, lad, and you've never once let me down. Yet what I'd ask of you now goes beyond aught I've asked before. Would you hear my plea all the same? It eases my mind to have your ear. You're no doubt familiar with that scoundrel Severin by now. Well, the schemin' scapegrace is at it again. Since that letter came for him, he's been skulking about in a manner he does when he's up to no good. Now he's rounded up his rogues and buggered off, with nary a word to anyone. I've grown accustomed to his insolence, but something tells me this is different. It ain't exactly damning, but when I last had words with him, he didn't look defiant so much as hunted. I can't help thinking he's gone looking for trouble and found more than he wanted. So I was hoping you might hunt his sorry hide down and drag it back here before it's too late. Uh-huh. The ungrateful little cur bites me every chance he gets, but I can't quite bring myself to cut him loose. I suppose he reminds me a bit of my younger self. Suffice it to say, I'd rather he didn't come to a sticky end. As for how to find him, I try asking Grinweeda at the Etherite. She was the last one to see him. I dare say she'll be able to tell you where she was headed. Grinweeda. Nothing that passes through those gates escapes my notice. I saw the Rouser and his rabble set out for Woad Whisper Canyon not long ago, singing about drinking themselves stupider. Cheeky sod said I should join them. I told them I'd rather shrivel up than sip whatever it is they pickled their brains. If you find the idle swine, be sure to give him a cuff round the ear from me, will you? The Descent. Aylmer, what are you doing here? Of all the dirty, deceitful, downright dastardly deeds that slippery bastard's done. Claiming to take the lads out for a drink, only to lead us straight into a bloody trap. It don't get no lower than that. Of course, I've learned to stay a step ahead of old Severin, so I was ready, but the others weren't so lucky. You've got to help them. Alright, let's go help. Erimhus. Let's get you up, buddy. My axe may as well have been a white flag for all the good it did. Hope you fare better. The sorry bastards in there are done for. Well, that's foreboding. So's Rarzai. Looks like we got another instance battle. Severin might have got us into this mess, but I ain't about to let him give his life for us. I'd sooner bow to a fishback than be in that conniving bastard's debt. To arms! A true knave. You betray even yourself, Severin. Ugh. Painted faces, people. We were prepared to overlook the matter of your desertion on the condition you provide us with suitable replacements. That was the agreement. Yet your latest change of heart leaves your debts to us unpaid. Few are they who betray the serpent reavers twice. You will not do so a third time. Cowering behind your protector will only delay the inevitable. Honorless wretch, your life is all you have left. And worthless though it be, we shall take it. Ooh, shady guy. O mournful voice of creation, send unto me a creature of the abyss, my thrall to command, that I may smite mine enemies. Well, that's a big boy.
Looking over all their shoulders, like moving boulders just to get out of the home. It sucks, I've had enough. I don't wanna feel the stuck under the rug, all my problems that
Duty complete. That the golem can be vanquished. This man is no ordinary adventurer. Ooh, and he's gone. Guess it was the wind. The snake slithered away. I am only glad he did not have the chance to sink his fangs more deeply into you. Oh, I'm seizing up again. Those pirates do not belong to any of the known Lomentian factions. Whom then do they serve? The Beast Tribes? Surely not. But the timing of their appearance coincides all too neatly with the recent surge in Sahagan and Kobold activity. Something is afoot. The question is, what? Could it be that the tribes are planning to summon their primals? 12 help us if it should prove so. Limsa would be hard-pressed to keep a single primal at bay, let alone two. But all is yet speculation. I must needs find evidence. The sea continues to rise, while the lesser moon continues to fall. And ilm by ilm, the world becomes even more unlike itself. It is as Louis Soir foretold. The coming of chaos has rendered the laws of nature mutable, blurring the boundary between the material and ethereal planes. Little now stands between us and the primals. But they are not here yet. Though time be against us, hope shall ever be on our side. You gonna put that on a shirt? Never did the creed of Charlene ring more true. I knew it was somebody's slogan. Never did I dream that I would possess the means to see ether. Yet now that I do begin to take it for granted. How swiftly do the wonders of Charlene seem commonplace. Here, for you. Have you come for the festivities? Today, the Maelstrom officially makes the Great Hole in the Sea its training ground. Join in the celebrations. Wait, a disturbance in the etheric flow. But whence does it emanate? Seasong Grotto, perhaps? What have we here? Can you walk? "'Tis I. Regrettably no, he eluded me. Understood. I will inform the Commodore. You collapsed from your exertions. Are you suitably recovered? Severin here has appraised me all that transpired. His account shed some light upon how you came to be attacked by a golem of all things. A golem is a mindless automaton, inert save when commanded to be otherwise. Common pirates cannot hope to control such a thing, so arcane are its workings. But then these tattooed wretches are no common pirates, they are the minions of the Sahagin. As to their purpose, well, I shall get to the bottom of it. Pirates working for Sahagins. But first I must escort Severin back to his place of employment. I dare say Stilwern will be wondering what has become of him. And you too, for that matter. I will bear word to him of your preservation, but I am certain he would like to thank you in person. Pray, pay the man a visit. Ah, he told me of you, but perchance he did not tell you of me. My name is Y'shtola. Oh, he told me about you. I am a naturalist of sorts, surveying the ether in the hope that I might offer up some clue as to our predicament. I'd say I owed you my life, but that don't cover it. If it weren't for you, my friends would be dead, and all. 'Tis a debt I can never repay, but I'll not make things worse by running away. Take me to Summerford Farms, and I'll face the consequences. For reasons I cannot fathom, you seem... Forgive me. Mayhap we shall have a chance to speak again when I have marshaled my thoughts. Until our paths next cross, farewell. Bye! Stelrin, we fought a golem. Oh, hey, Severin. Lo, I knew you'd return. Y'shtola delivered Severin a bit ago. Tales of your heroic deeds precede you. The rest came shuffling back too, the lot of them sporting the same haunted expression. It's me who's to blame for that and the rest. I was once a serpent reaver. A thrall to the Sahagin? 7 L's. Reavers may look and sound and act like pirates, but they're not but the fishbacks flunkies. Us pirates ain't much for laws, but there's things we won't do. We've got a code, see, but the Reavers never followed a word of it. A few years back, they started snatching law-abiding Lomensians. I'd only just taken my oath when our captain bent the knee to his new Sahagin masters. I knew I had to get away. So I crept off one night, got myself a new name, and found myself a new home, Summerford Farms. Trouble is, secrets don't stay secret for long round here, and word soon spread, all the way back to the sea. The penalty for desertion is death, but the Reavers offered me a way out instead, my freedom in exchange for my mates. The letter. I don't know what I was thinking. I wasn't bloody thinking. Too busy soiling myself. Aye, but you got there in the end, didn't you? When the time came, you made the right decision. The men say little to me, but I hear 'em talk how you stood up to the Reavers as the last, and how you tried to give your life to save theirs. Be that as it may, no deed, however good, can atone for the crime of betraying your brethren. I know that, I do. That's why I'm going to hand myself over to the Yellow Jackets. I'll bring shame to the farm no more. You'll hear no arguments from me. Each man must sail according to his own moral compass. I just hope yours guides you back here someday. There will always be a place for you at Summerford Farms, lad. And I'll always be in your debt, Stilwern. I owe you a debt too, Soothing. Not once have you let me down. Thank you for saving the men on my farm. If I could ask one more favor of you, it'd be this. Tell Baderon what's happened, from start to finish. I'm certain he'd put in a good word for Severin if he knew the whole story. And he's one of the few people I know who the Yellow Jackets will listen to. Well, I reckon I've asked all I can possibly ask of you. Safe travels, son. Safe travels indeed. Back to Limsa. Time to pick up the next Marauder quest. Wernzen. Soothing. I have gathered what information I could concerning the beast that young Sighart bade you slay. The tales name this creature Kujata. Kujata. Those who have witnessed Kujata in the terrifying flesh also call him the stampeding mountain. Such is his immense size and bulk. Again, I will not seek to dissuade you from claiming vengeance for the boy's parents. In fact, I encourage it. See, this is why my mentor and dear friend Bob convinced me to join the Marauders Guild, because Bob is all about harnessing your feelings, and he puts those feelings into the things he paints. And here in the Marauders Guild, we're doing the same thing. We're harnessing our feelings. It's just Bob usually deals with feelings of joy and laughter and sometimes melancholy, but mostly warm, happy feelings. Whereas we in the Marauders Guild deal with rage and vengeance and wrath. So you see, I'm still painting on the same easel, I've just got different colors in my palette. But to topple this lumbering colossus, you must first become his equal in strength and ferocity. As a single step towards that distant goal, I send you to Blind Iron Mines. We have had word that folk are falling prey to the claws of the local Galagos. It is your task to protect the weak from these unruly creatures. Learn to channel the rage inside you, and let your axe blades sing in righteous slaughter. Fantastic. Now let's talk to Betaron. Bloody hells, life on the farm ain't quite how I pictured it. Aye, but you needn't worry yourself over young Severin. The Yellow Jacket's hands-out punishment is a good mate of mine. If I ask him nice, I reckon he'd be willing to commute the lad's sentence from Angan to Keelholland, kindly gent that he is. I'm only jesting with ye. I'll see he's treated fair. Now, it sounds to me like you've done everything old Stillwerin asked ye, and more, justifying me generous finder's fee for the process. Much obliged, lad. As for her reward, well, she's a lonely lady, this Drowning wench of mine. How'd you fancy keeping her company for a spell, with free room and board? Oh, I'd like free room and board, yeah, thanks. Venturing's a tiring business, after all. Them as don't rest their bones every now and again tend to end up with broken ones. And take it from me, fighting ain't nearly so much fun when you're nursing a shattered arm. Got that? Good. There'll always be a free bed for you, so make use of it. Alright. Not that you'll have much time for lying around, what with all the levs you'll be doing. Oh, didn't I mention? I'm putting your name down for levs. Our guild draws all manner of clients, offering all manner of odd jobs. Honestly, you'd be amazed how much folks will pay to avoid doing an honest day's labor. Just give Tamakri a shout whenever you feel like making a few extra gil. She'll always have some task or other for you to do. Guild levs, now available. Oh, and it's all above board, in case you were wondering. We're careful to stay on the animal's right side in here, unlike some pirates I could mention. I tell you, if it turns out they'd had aught to do with them kidnappings, there'll be 7 L's to pay. A proper bleeding reckoning. Mayhap that's what Limsa needs, though. On rough seas, sometimes you have to rock the boat to ride it. But we'll have time for such talk when you're well rested. Till then, enjoy the wench's hospitality. How do you fare, Soothin? Rested and ready to expand your horizons? Well then, I have an idea where you might try Ed next. Have you heard of the Skylift out in Middle Lenosia? If you've ever visited Woad Whisper Canyon, then you must have been up and down the thing at least once. It's that big bleeding scaffolding attached to the descent. You've likely seen the lads and lasses out there using it to haul cargo up the cliff face. Hard labor, that, and I hear they could use an enterprising soul to pick up the odd jobs what no other bugger has time to deal with. Track down the head of the operation, bloke by the name of We're Crit, and he'll be sure to put you to work on a task or two. Quest accepted. Alright. I am gonna go to an inn room.